This isn't just a clay pot. It's a 700-year-old message from a people who reached incredible artistic heights, and then, seamlessly, walked away. For about 200 years, the Salado people of the American Southwest created these stunning masterpieces, Gila and Tonto Polychromes. But what do these intricate designs and vivid colors tell us about the people who left them behind? And where did they go? This is the story of a culture written in clay, a story of migration, belief, and an unbelievable artistic tradition that bloomed in the desert, becoming one of archaeology's greatest puzzles in the Southwest. So, who were the Salado? The name itself is Spanish for the Salt River, the Rio Salado, which was the heart of their world in what we now call Central Arizona. Around AD 1275, something new started happening here. A unique culture was born from a real mix of peoples. It's believed that the ancestral Puebloans, migrating from the north, moved into the Tonto Basin, blending with the Mogollon and Hohokam communities already there. This created a genuine cultural melting pot. For the next 200 years, they thrived, building multi-story pueblos and complex irrigation canals to grow corn, beans, and cotton in the tough desert landscape. They left behind awe-inspiring cliff dwellings, like the ones you can still see at the Tonto National Monument. But their most widespread legacy is their pottery. Then, by about 1450, they were just gone from the Tonto Basin, and communities were absolutely abandoned, and they stopped making their beautiful, famous pottery. So what happened? It wasn't a sudden disappearance. Evidence points to major environmental stress. After 1350, cycles of drought and massive floods may have wiped away their farms, leading to conflict and forcing them to move. This was a migration, not a vanishing act. In fact, oral traditions of modern tribes like the Hopi and Zuni tell us that the Salado people moved on or integrated with other communities all across the Southwest. To truly understand the Salado, you have to look at what they left behind, especially their Gila and Tonto Polychrome pottery. These weren't just everyday bowls and jars, though. They were canvases for a complex artistic and spiritual tradition. The process started with local clays, built up using a coil and scrape method to form the vessel. But the magic was all in the decoration. The potters used slips, basically a thin clay paint to get their colors. They used a striking trio of red hematite, a special white clay that might have been acquired through trade, and a unique organic paint. This black paint was special. While mineral paints were common, the black on Salado Polychromes was an organic, carbon-based, made by boiling down plants like beeweed or mesquite into a thick syrup. This was a technique they picked up from ancestral Puebloan potters to the north. Firing the pottery was a delicate dance. It had to be done in an open, oxidizing fire to turn those iron-rich clays to a brilliant red, while also carefully controlling the heat so that the organic paint wouldn't burn off. For me, this is a connection to the past, imagining the incredible skill it took to create a single pot that makes this story feel so real. If you're fascinated by rediscovering ancient technologies as I am, stick around and subscribe to Willow's Southwest Studio for more stories pulled from the ancient world. So, what's the difference between a Gila and Tonto Polychrome pot? It's all in the details. Gila Polychrome, which shows up around 1300, is famous for its bold, asymmetrical black and white designs on the inside of bowls, with a solid red exterior. The patterns are complex, full of beautiful symbolic designs. Tonto Polychrome emerged a bit later, around 1350, and was made right alongside Gila Polychrome for a century. It's stylistically similar, but you'll sometimes see red paint used inside the black and white designs, and decorations on the outside of jars. But what did it all mean? Archaeologists think Salado pottery was more than just a style. It represented a shared belief system that spread across the entire Southwest. The symbols on the pottery, things like serpents, birds, clouds, and geometric shapes, are likely tied to a religion focused on rain, fertility, and community. This shared set of images, found on locally made pottery over a huge area, helped unite different groups of people during a time of huge social change. And we know they weren't isolated. Discoveries like macaw feathers and copper bells at Salado sites prove they were plugged into a vast trade networks that stretched all the way into Mexico. So the Salado people didn't really vanish from their heartland at all. Their legacy is still alive and well, clinging to the canyon walls and their cliff dwellings and shining in the brilliant patterns of their pottery. They didn't disappear. They transformed. They moved on, and they became part of the story of other peoples. Each pot is a testament to their resilience, their artistry, and their ability to build a new identity out of many. Their pottery remains a 700-year-old message in clay, reminding us that culture's influence can echo long after its people have moved on. It leaves us to wonder, what other messages are hidden in clay and stone that are still waiting to be uncovered? Alright, my friends, once again, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Till next time.